everyone, Allie Buchman here with the Potomac Bead Company, and I'm going to wrap a Rivoli for you in this diamond RounDuo pattern. And we're going to be using our RounDuo bead. That's a 2-hole 5mm round bead. And altogether we're going to need 24 of them. I'm going to be working with 16 of the Crystal Graphite Rainbow and 8 of the Pastel Lila, which has a pretty purple color to it. I'm also working with the 14mm Rivoli in the Paradise Shine, which gives off all kinds of pretty hues of green and kind of a purpley color. So we're really going to play that up with our purple RounDuo beads. I'm also using 11 OC beads in Galvanized silver, and this is the Duracoat silver, which I've also used on my example. My example here, I have the turquoise Picasso in the, Jade Picasso in the RounDuo bead, and then a light Colorado Topaz Rivoli bead. We're going to be creating our bail out of our 11 O's, and then you can put this on any type of leather or cording or necklace that you would like to work with. As far as needles go, I'm using one size 10 needle, and I'm going to be using green wildfire beading thread in 0.006. You're really only going to need about 2 feet of thread for this project, so not much at all. And then also just one needle. I'm working on my bead mat to create a surface for my beads not to roll on. I have my Thread Zap 2 handy. We also have a new Thread Zap Ultra that you could be using. And I have scissors that I've cut my thread with, and these are the slip and snip scissors that kind of fold inside themselves and have a really nice sharp edge to them. Then also sitting handy, I have some super new glue, and this super new glue is just used in case you need to glue any of your ends. But we're going to get ready to wrap this, to capture this Rivoli inside our RounDuo beads and make this diamond round pendant. So right now my Rivoli is just going to kind of sit here and hang out, and I'm actually going to be working with my RounDuo beads of my 11O. I have my demo piece here sitting face down to give you an idea and just show you exactly how we're going to create this bezel for the Rivoli to sit in. We're going to start by stringing on 8 RounDuo beads with an 11O seed bead in between each RounDuo bead. I'm then going to tie those into a loop. So we're starting with our RounDuo beads, and I'm starting with that crystal graphite color, and I'm going to follow each of the RounDuos with an 11O seed bead. Once I have on all 8, then we will tie them into a loop. So 4 are on. I'm going to push those off my needle, and I'm going to put on 4 more. I started with a RounDuo bead, so I'm going to make sure to end with an 11O seed bead. You want to make sure that you do this in an even amount. If you go to a smaller Rivoli, then you want to make sure to do an even count, like 6, if you're going to use a 12mm Rivoli. So I have my 8 beads on here, and I'm going to let them fall to the end of my thread. I don't want a lot of extra thread because I don't need a lot of extra thread. And all I'm going to do is tie that in a knot. Once that is tied in a knot, we're going to move from the first hole of that RounDuo bead that we're coming out of to the second hole of that RounDuo bead. We're going to take the thread back in the opposite direction, which is going to make you see a little bit of a thread bridge right there on the side of the RounDuo bead. You're not going to see it too much, so we're not going to worry about really covering that up at all, because what we're going to do now is we're going to add another 8 of the RounDuo beads in between the RounDuos from the first row. When you're working with it, it's going to work up really quickly. You're just going to pick up a RounDuo, and you're going to sew through the top open hole of the next RounDuo. You're going to work this the whole way around, going right around along your circle, adding in 8. And I'm going to keep going. Then once we have those 8, what we're actually going to do is we are going to step up again, and I'm going to switch colors. So I have these original ones on. I'm almost done. As I place the last one in right here, I'm going to go through that first RounDuo bead that my thread was coming out of. I'm also going to go through the bottom hole of that first RounDuo bead that I just put on. Give a nice tight pull at the end of that row, and it's going to create that like flower effect. My thread that I'm going to take from the bottom hole to the top hole, just like we did in the first row, going to the outermost edge of the RounDuo beads that are in place here. The next color I'm going to put on is my Lila color, and that purple bead is just going to sit right in between. As you notice when you're doing this, you're going to go around your circle, and the circle is actually going to start to cave in. That's what's going to happen as you're working with your Rivoli as well. Because it's getting wider, it doesn't have enough room to go basically, so it's going to start that curvature. We're going to keep going the whole way around here, adding our beads in. And again, this is a row of 8, so you're always adding 8 beads per row. That's why we needed 16 of the one color and 8 of the other. In my example that's sitting here, I did use all the same bead, so it's up to you what you want to do. There's a lot of great color options to work with. Once you're putting that last bead in place, you're going to go through the second layer to the third row here, through the first bead in the third row that I put on, so through that first purple. Give a nice tight yank, and what that's going to do is create that nesting and that curvature effect. I want to go then through the top hole in the opposite direction of the RounDuo that I'm coming out of. Again, give a nice tight pull. You want to make sure if your tail is in the way to pull the tail down to the bottom, because you don't want that sitting inside and getting trapped inside your little cage right here. We're going to worry about putting in the Swarovski rather after I go around these first couple beads. Here in the example I have 5 beads. I'm going to be using 4, making it a little bit tighter. When I'm coming out this second hole of the RounDuo bead towards the outer edge, I'm going to pick up 4 of my 11-0 beads. I'm going to skip one of my Lila beads and go through the next one. So I'm going to be going through every other. I'm going to put on 4 more of my 11-0s, skipping the next one, and going through the next bead. Again, 4 11-0s are going to go on, skipping the next one, going through the next one. At this point, I'm going to drop my Swarovski in. So I've got that 14 millimeter in. You want to make sure your seed beads stay to the top as you pull. And then I'm going to add 4 more 11-0s, going back through the first RounDuo bead that my thread was coming out of. Get your Swarovski in place there and start to give a nice tight pull, and that's going to create that diamond effect. I'm going to go back the whole way around and reinforce that center line here that I did my 11-0s. So you're going to re-sew through that whole line, giving a nice tight pull as you go. Anytime you're doing anything that's in the round like this, that you're going around in a circle or the piece is actually taking shape and 3-dimensional, you always want to make sure to pull the thread fairly tight. And I like wildfire thread. I have a good track record with it, that it doesn't break, and I like the thickness of it. So I've gone the whole way around now. And what I'm going to do is at this point, if you wanted to, you could be done. You can decorate it up. What I'm going to do is decorate it up. So to decorate it, I'm going to go and start grabbing on to that every other purple bead that I was coming out of. My thread is coming out of my RounDuo bead in between the 11-0s and the RounDuo. I'm going to pick up 2 11-0s, and I'm going to pick up the outer hole of the open RounDuo that's closest. That's going to kind of bring that in a little bit. Again, I'm going to pick up 2 beads, and I'm going to go and sew back through the innermost hole of the RounDuo That's part of that diamond that I created. Again, 2 beads go on. So back through, picking up the next corner bead. Move that tail out of the way. Again, 2 more beads get picked up. Picking up the hole that's closest to the Rivoli. Pulling again. Again, kind of giving that nice tight pull in. 2 more get picked up, and you're just spinning the whole way around here, picking up that outer hole. And that's what's going to create that diamond effect. As I go around, I'm not worrying too much right now about the tension, because I will increase the tension right at this point when I have that last one that I've gone through. Then I'm going to give that nice tight pull. You can see that pretty diamond effect that's happening, and I really like the purple. I didn't want to overplay the purple, that's why I picked that graphite color on the outside. I do want to use this as a diamond shape, so I want to kind of pop it out there rather than putting the bail somewhere here in the middle. I'm going to put it at the top. You really can put the bail anywhere though. On this piece, I chose to take some 11 OC beads and also decorate the sides here in between your second row. I'm going to do that on this one as well. So I'm going to go through my 11 O's because I'm coming out right now between a round duo, the last one. I'm going to go back through the first 2 seed beads that I put on that row, going through the first hole of the round duo bead, and then I'm going to go backtrack, needle turning the other direction, and go back through that same round duo. So you're going to see a tiny bit of thread there on the side. At the same time, I'm going to go back through the next round duo bead and the second row back. Once I'm through that round duo bead, here's where I'm going to decorate the sides. So I'm always going to be picking up on the second row the whole of the round duo bead that's closest to the purple. I'm going to add 3 seed beads in the place, and then I'm going to sew through that next graphite colored round duo. 3 beads are going to go in the place, and then through the next graphite bead, taking your needle out. If your needle does get tight, my one right there just wants to go right next to the bead, wants to go through 2, kind of turn it on an angle, like so. If you're a person that likes size 12 needles, because they do give you a little bit more space, you can go ahead and put a size 12 needle on, that's up to you. I would rather give a little push and pull than work with a 12. I'm going to go the whole way around here, adding those groups of 3. You can see it's starting to decorate the side. If you want to, you could also add a crystal on the side, make it a little bit more detailed, that's up to you. And as I approach the beginning and put my last seed beads in place, I'm going to get ready then to show you how I do the bail. So I'm at the spot where I'm going to add my last beads, and I'm going to go through that round duo bead. I'm also going to go through that first set of 11 O's that I put on, through the next round duo bead, kind of reinforcing, and then I am going to go through all of the 11 O's right on top of this purple bead. That's going to bring me out right on a corner. When I'm coming out then here on the corner, what I'm going to do is create my bail. So I'm using those 3 beads in a ladder stitch fashion to create my bail. I'm going to add 3 more beads on after coming out of those 3, and I'm going to go back through those 3 beads in a circle. So my thread's circling around. I go back through those 3. That's going to cause the 3 to sit on top of the original 3. My thread and needle then gets spun in a circle back through the 3 that I just put on. Again, 3 more go on. In a round, my thread goes through the ones that I put on the second row, and then back through and around the 3 beads that I just put on. Oops. I'm going to do this same ladder stitch pattern for approximately 12 rows. It's going to depend on the size of the cording or the omega chain, what you're putting it on. This one here, it looks like I have right about 10 rows. So you're going to go ahead and continue that ladder stitch, and then I'll show you how we attach that ladder stitch in order to finish it off into the bail shape. So I'm done with my ladder stitch, and what I'm going to do is take this section here that I've created to be my bail. You're going to take it through the next RounDuo bead from the first row. So when you lay it down here, you can see where it's going to be. You want to line it up directly behind where the original 3 beads are, going through the second hole of the first row of RounDuos. That's going to round it out. And I'm going to pull that thread, making sure that that bail comes to the back. You can see here when I went through the wrong way. So I'm going to pull that out and go over to the correct side so that way my bail lays correct. Once I'm through that RounDuo bead, I'm going to go back through the ladder, just like I would be adding another ladder stitch row in a circular fashion. Going through, giving nice tight pulls. And I'm going to do that again. So I have it separated so you can see the thread a little bit. I'm going to do it one more time, going through that last row of ladder stitch and going back through the RounDuo. So it's basically 3 times through that RounDuo bead. Give a nice tight pull, and then that gets your bail right in place so it looks like a nice finished bail on your Rivoli. You can see here the difference in size of doing 4 versus doing 3 beads, which one you can see more of the Rivoli in, and just the difference a little bit in the design. You could also use 15 OC beads as well if you wanted it to be a little bit tighter. To end this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through my beads here, and I'm going to go the whole way around to the start of my thread. So I'm going to go down my last row, or I should say my first row of RounDuo beads. My thread's getting short. And if you can, you're going to spin the whole way around. It might get tight with your needle. You can see I'm kind of pushing a little bit through just because those beads are sitting really close together. But this is also going to enforce that first row. Usually you're going to be able to go through a seed bead and a RounDuo before your needle pokes out. And once you have it the whole way spun around, then it's really easy. All you're going to do is literally tie a knot. And your project is going to be all finished. It's a really, really quick way to get this cab set. A lot of times you'll go in to do Rivolis and you have to do peyote and do the counting, and this is a nice quick way. I also really like the look of the rounded bead with the Rivoli. I'm almost around now to center, and once I get there, again, all we're going to do is tie a knot. So my threads are now ending in the same place. I'm going to take my needle off. I have my 2 thread ends, and very simply tie again, and take a little bit of your super new glue, glue that knot down a tiny bit, take your thread snips, cut down close, and then I'm going to go in with my burner, and just that little bit of thread that's sticking up, I'm going to turn my burner on and burn that down. The smoke that you see is actually going to be from the glue, which is not quite dry. I like to burn it though while it's not quite dry. That way I feel like it burns the edge of it as well, and the glue stays a little bit better. And there you have it. That is your rounded diamond bezel set Rivoli. And the pendant makes a really nice, cute little pendant to wear on a slide. It also would make great earrings. I'll also do something similar soon in a video where I'm adding them as a bracelet to make a blinged up bracelet, or you can also do it as a necklace, adding multiples together. If you would want to add multiples together, you can add them here at the baseline or even on the 3 seed beads, just like we did the bail. That could take the place, and that could be where they are added together on the ends. So hopefully you have a chance to pick up some of these awesome RounDuo beads to create one of these pendants. Again, it uses a 14mm Rivoli. If you don't have the chance to get a 14, you can get a 12. If you do need any of the products, you can go to your local Potomac bead company. If you don't have one near you, we're happy to send you the things you need from our online website. If you click down Show More underneath this video, we can show you the links to all of the different products that are used here in the video. You can also subscribe to the channel and do some options so that way you get notifications when we do new videos, when I have new things available, and we do product updates as well. So thanks a lot for watching. Like us on Facebook and keep giving us a whole bunch of great ideas as well as showing us the things that you make as well. Thanks a lot for watching, and happy beading, everyone.